make sure you're not bored to death, but all your friends have disappeared, and you're the last one left. If you want to live, I suggest not doing drugs and having sex. Run through the forest grasping for breath, as you're chased by a maniac wearing a mask of flesh, tripping over dead friends. This isn't over until you get revenge. Final girls try to survive in a violent world. It's eye for an eye. Hide behind doors, lying underneath beds, trying to bide your time and find your strength, and figure out how much time it takes to escape before it's too late, or come face to face with a grim fate. Welcome to ClassHorrorCast. Let's see how long you last as you torture to death. So come join your host Aaron and Tomcat as we bring you a podcast that will leave you laughing in a body bag or a bloodbath. Welcome to ClassHorrorCast. Let's see how long you last.
Welcome back, horror fans.
Looks like my grandma in a night dress.
Oh, God almighty. Did you type that in when you were trying to make that?
Yeah, nanny in...
Oh, no.
I did see her dead corpse when my mom was like, didn't tell me that she was dead in the room. And then I walked in and I saw her just laying there. I was like, thanks, Mom.
Christ almighty. That's okay. Because that image looks like a horrible husk as well.
Yeah. It's probably what she looked like.
Welcome back, horror fans, to another mini dive into a lesser known but fascinating horror film from the early 2000s. In 2005, Crywolf arrived dressed like your average slasher film, but beneath the surface was a sharp game of manipulation, misdirection, and one hell of a final twist. Today we're unpacking the lies, the legends, and the legacy of this often overlooked entry in early 2000s horror. Just like the film, you can't play the game alone, so before we dive in, I'll let my partner in crime step out from the shadows and introduce himself.
I am the wolf. Arf, arf. I'm Tomcat, aka Tom Thompson, the Reptilian. I am the founder of Strange Brew Podcast, I guess you could say, a show that me and Aaron do with also my friend Billy. And this is why I bought this beer. I'm not used to drinking lager. I use IPA, like strong, like... Not a lot of people like that stuff, but I like hoppy, strong beer. But it's called the Kirby. Like it's a little boat, and his name is Billy Kirby, so it's like the Kirby. And I was like,
get this weird shit out of him.
Canada, man. All Canadians do is just drink themselves to death, essentially. You know, that's all we're doing while our country is going to absolute shit. But in the meantime, let's talk about some horror movies. It's weird. I don't drink lager, so it just tastes weird to me. Like it tastes like very light. I
like that though. I like that sometimes because I feel like some of the heavier stuff can make me feel like super bloated.
Yeah, I agree.
Like yesterday, for example, I had no plans yesterday. It was my birthday, and
oh yeah, happy birthday! I was like, I said that to Chelsea on Sunday. I was like, oh, Aaron's birthday's on fucking Monday.
I had no plans, and then a guy I train with, and I've known him for years. We worked together for years and whatever. He was like, oh, you doing anything? He didn't even realize it was my birthday. He was just like, are you doing anything? I'm free. And he was like, want to go grab a pizza and a couple of beers or something? I was like, yeah, sure. It was a Monday night. Like, so I'm like,
want to go to the strip club?
I was like, so we went, had pizza. That was fine. I had a cider. That was quite nice. And then the usual bar we go to was closed because obviously it's a fucking Monday. So no mongoloids are out. So we go to some other place. I order a margarita. I don't know why. I'm like, what am I doing? It tasted garbage. They had no salt. It tasted like dirty dishwater. I was like, what is this shit? Like, and then, I started drinking like just random beers. And like, then I'm like, oh, I don't really like that. Let me get a Corona. Then I'm like, let me try this beer. And like by the end of the night, dude, I was like, wow, I feel like I'm fucking pregnant. I was like, I am so bloated and feel like garbage. I was like sitting in the smoking area and I had to like open the like button in my jeans. I was like, Christ almighty.
That's crazy. That's why I don't like it. Like, it'll be interesting when I actually for sure quit because like in May I'm gonna have to because anything can happen, right? I could drive. I'm not gonna say it. Well, I could drive high, but I don't. Just so everybody knows, I actually don't like driving high. But you're not supposed to drink. I don't want to like. She's like, oh no, like it's the baby's got a problem. Something's coming. Something's happening or some shit. And I'm like, all right. It's like
you have to have your bug out bag ready to go.
Yeah, Yes, it's true. And like this is why I don't like. It'll be interesting not to, but I will miss it. Like that's why I'm kind of just taking advantage of it while I can. I'm like, this is my last. It's my last stretch before my life changes forever. So forever, ever.
I'll be grand. After a little while, you can just go back to drinking every day again.
Yeah.
You'll have a reason to.
So I watched this again with my wife. She said it was better than the last two things that you made me watch with
I
the garbage.
fucking can't please her. I really thought you were going to come back and say, "Oh, you know what? Chelsea actually really dug this one."
She said it was better than the other ones. She enjoyed it because I was surprised she never saw it because I'm like, you never seen this? She's like, no, and I'm like, this one's pretty good. Like she did enjoy it. Like I think she would have enjoyed it more if she was like, 16, 17 or younger.
Yeah,
watching it. You know what I mean? Because it's her first watch, and I'm like, I was surprised that she's never seen it. But she didn't mind it, and it was nostalgic for me. It was a throwback because, as again, same thing. Watched it. I'm guarantee with that Austin kid. He's like, we should just make a T-shirt with it, just a random face on it, and just be like Austin, because like he was the one that I watched all these movies with, and I feel like I remember us renting it from the store. Same thing we kind of talked about. Around this time is the nostalgic aspect. When was it? 2005, right?
Yeah.
So I was 14. So it definitely like hanging out with friends, throwing a horror movie on. It probably just came out, go to like the convenience store, take off that Velcro little snappy thing and then give it in. And like, I remember like enjoying it, but rewatching it now, like I'll get to my thoughts later, but there's some parts that I was like, oh yeah. And they kind of like, almost like we get M. Night Shyamalan where you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah. I definitely get that. Right before we get into some of the,
Almost like a
I wanna,
shock button, like a, oh my God,
Surprise, motherfucker.
There's a few things I want to read out to you and get your opinions on, like taglines and stuff. But before we get into that, I just want to play something real quick for everybody, whether you've seen it or not, to kind of, I guess, get us in the vibe.
He needs a name.
The wolf.
How about a gun?
A knife would be scarier.
It's perfect.
Did you hear about that girl that's missing?
I don't think this is a joke.
Rated PG-13.
He's behind me. He's behind me.
You know what? I miss like teaser trailer things like that.
I know that those sounds of the AOL chat. Ooh,
throwback.
They made my preteen penis hard.
Yep. With every doodaloo, there'd be just another little bit of pre-cum. You're like, whoa, what like, emoji am I gonna get back this time?
I know, especially because me and Billy we were talking about that reptilian cult or whatever. It's like this online reptilian cult that led to like a death. And we were for like 15 minutes we were talking about MSN, like Messenger, and like because he's younger, so he wasn't there for AOL, but I remember AOL and we're talking about those like seedy chat rooms. You remember? And he'd be like 13 to 15 or whatever, and that there's pedophiles just lurking in those chats. And like that was when the internet was still kind of the wild west, and you would just be talking to God knows who. Like those AOL like chat rooms were probably some scary stuff going on.
You know what the worst part was? I used to be convinced that they were who they said they were.
I know. You're definitely a 13-year-old girl.
I wanted to believe it so bad.
I know. She's definitely flirting with me, and just so
some random person that's like never seen me or has seen a picture that is like this size on a pixel at a computer.
I know, right?
He's all of a sudden like has like the super hots for me and like it's messaging me constantly. I'm like, what are the chances? Like 0.
Did you have Habbo Hotel? Do you remember that?
I don't know why that's like. I feel like that's ringing a bell for me. Where I'm like, wow, is that like some weird like repressed memory?
It was you look it up. When did it come out? If I look it up, my internet will just shut down for some reason. My internet sucks lately.
Oh, yes. Whoa.
Yes. Dude, I remember like it was just so
Oh.
funny. Because you could talk to everyone. Everyone had their own like little characters that they made up. And I remember the one time like there's all this thing like kids dressed up like the Bloods. And I
Oh,
just like
dude, that's literally giving me goosebumps. That's like that's
is
some
that weird?
throwback. I had like forgotten about that. The first thing that comes up is a TechCrunch article saying post pedophile scandal. Habbo Hotel is
Uh,
open for business again.
Wow, can you bring it up on the screen because so people see it? Because I just wanted like a. I used to make my little guy. I remember the one time I made like a Bloods, and then all of us hung out. There's like 30 of us that were all dressed like the Bloods. It's like
That's
I
such a
wanted
throwback, man. Weird. That's so
me
weird.
and Billy. Wow, yeah, that shit was kind of fun though, man. It was fucking weird and fun, but you could go like hang out in the pool. Um, you could play like games and stuff. It was fucking awesome. Uh, it was just cool.
Extremely creepy though when you think about it.
Oh, it is. We didn't know any better though. Um, But oh yeah, you could create your own characters and it was so crazy. Like you could hang out in the pool and you put on your swim shorts and you go for a swim and shit. Like, oh, is it still around, man? Man, they should make it as a fucking an
That'd be
app.
so funny. Just get us to play that.
Oh man, I would like to do some of that. We should do a Patreon episode where we play RuneScape.
I always keep hearing stuff about that.
I had a buddy that
Um,
played it forever, but it's just so nostalgic. I'll never forget some of like those times, man. And this movie made me think of it too, right? Because the AOL chat of like people don't understand, like it's not like the same thing, everybody, where it's like if someone has your number, they can text you or whatever. Or I guess you're now social media or whatever, but it was different back then, right? You know, you'd run
Yeah.
home after school and there would be like 5 messages from fucking a girl or your friends, be like, hey, what are you doing tonight? We're gonna have a pop and chip movie night and watch
do you know
Cry
what the
Wolf.
worst was as well, right? Like when I was talking to these chicks on AOL and stuff
With
or
dicks, yeah,
MSN or whatever it was,
yeah.
um, I would like if it was getting like hot and heavy by like that the standard back then in my mind. Like, dude, I would go to school and I would think about that all day. I'd be like, what messages I have to like. How soon can I get back to that AOL chat just to see some like dumbass message or like a winky face emoji?
Yeah.
And like I'd spend all day like to be like in class, I wouldn't listen to a thing, couldn't hear anything, couldn't see. I was like, I wonder what that chick is like. I wonder if she answer me. And like, you know, I remember talking to chicks and they'd be like, oh, I live in Canada or I live in Los Angeles and stuff. And I'm like, I'm believing all this. And like some chick in Los Angeles
I
is
know. And who knows if some of it was true, but mostly probably wasn't. Like that, I showed Chelsea my dick on webcam when I was like 13. That's just the way it went, man. I told her I think I told her it was like 10 inches or some shit. I got a nice penis, but it's not that huge. And it's just like so fucking
it's
tough.
like, oh, it's like 10.5 inches and it comes up and it looks like a McDonald's chip.
French fry or
Oh,
whatever. Billy didn't know what a chode was. I might get into this, but it's just so funny. We're arguing about it. But like it is just so funny because that was like a thing, like you know, getting girls to flash you. I remember me and my buddy watched this chick finger blast herself on webcam. We talked to her all the time, and it was always both of us. It's like so weird.
Yeah, it's such a weird time, man.
Why did we do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's when you start hitting puberty and stuff. You do
We
weird
we
shit,
met
your
her
mind
one
is just-
time, and we thought she was like super hot on webcam, and then we met her at a dance, and she was like her face looked like pizza. It's like the
Oh,
webcam
Christ.
hid that like acne stuff.
Yeah, because all the pixels were like fucking.
Yeah, didn't I tell you? And then we went we hit up these other chicks and we went and hung around at church, and then my mom bought us do-rags. She's like, here, I got you some do-rags from the dollar store.
Do you know what though? Right, so wholesome.
I know. That's
You
a
never have
different
that
time.
anymore.
Man.
That's finished
I
now.
know.
You'll be getting like your kids will be like, oh yeah, I have to wear my gas mask today because it's toxic waste outside.
I'm gonna pretend to my kids that the internet doesn't exist. It's like everyone's lying to you. That's fake.
Do you know what? That wouldn't be a bad thing. The internet
I
just
know.
blew up. I know we wouldn't be able to do
Mormon
this right now, but we'd be able to do like pirate radio or something. Yeah, I want to run through some of the taglines. I feel like some of
Yeah.
these are quite clever. Because I know normally when we read the taglines, they're quite shit. But
They're just
I'll
like
try and-
whatever they want it to be for the VHS, like just something to be like, oh.
I'll try
Yeah.
and like let me see. Actually, I have the Cry Wolf DVD here in front of me, the
That's cool.
uncut
I'd like to get
version
that.
again. Okay,
That's
so
not
the one on the front of this is I don't know if
ultra
people,
scary.
no, it's
Don't
here, right?
watch
It's
alone.
really, really small. It's the word
Believe. It
believe.
says
But if you
lie.
look, yeah, so if you look at it, LIE is highlighted.
It's hard to have addictions to buying things because I want to re-up on my my horror movie collection. Like I'm starting to build it back up again. It's probably nothing compared to yours, but I have starting to have a decent amount. But I just bought like a new Ramones record because Toys R Us is going out of sale on like the one near us is being bought out because everything is by corporations and worse businesses or whatever. But they're like 30% off. Chelsea's get all this baby stuff, and I was like, "Can I look at the records?" And it's like, I was like, this one is the cheapest one, the Ramones. It's hard to have like an addiction to collecting stuff too, because like I want tons of records and horror movies, but it's like that's why I really try to check those flea markets because
Yeah,
you
well,
can
that's
get to
the
like
only,
$1.
yeah, the only reason now that I have like anyway a decent collection is because I've been doing that for a while. Where like I'm picking up 10 movies for like €5.
One thing I want to do, and I was pissed because I wanted this would be a good movie maybe to get Billy on the show for, but Club Dread. I bought Club
Oh
Dread.
yeah.
And then there was no DVD inside. I was pissed. I was
Oh
like, what the
no.
fuck?
That's happened to me a lot actually. I'm like, well, that's great. Anyway, I have the case and I have no DVD. Great.
Just pretend you do.
Okay, so that's one of the taglines, the
Yeah.
believe.
Believe.
Yeah, with like lie in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Another one is you lie, you die. I think that's quite trash. Nobody believes a liar, even when they're telling the truth. Not bad.
Yeah.
It's high school. Nothing is real. It's high school. Nothing is real.
Yes. You know what's going on
Um,
there. I like that one. Nothing is real, especially on Habbo hotels. It's like,
at Westlake High, there's a new game. Avoid suspicion, manipulate your friends, eliminate your enemies. That's
that's
basically
not
just
bad.
explain the
Fighting.
premise of, I
But
guess,
it's not bad because then you still get kind of what the movie is based on.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you
Um,
still like stuff like that. I'm like, I'll lean more towards. It's like, hey, at least you're kind of telling us what's going on.
the director of this movie has also done some other stuff that I think I've liked. A guy by the name of Jeff Wadlow. Let's have a look. He done that weird MMA
What?
movie. Actually, I didn't realize.
His name sounds like a 80s porn star.
Does kind of, doesn't it?
Jeff Wadlow.
Yeah, he done Never Back Down in
Wad.
2008. He done
Yeah.
Kick-Ass 2.
I actually like Kick-Ass too. Jim Carrey in it. Fucking
Yeah,
some of those movies could be fun off brands because I rewatched the first one recently. And it's just a fun like for like a superhero movie. It's like actually kind of nice. It's a
he
fun
done
time.
Truth or Dare. That was
I've never
okay.
seen that. Yeah.
He done that. He done Fantasy Island. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I saw that once. I think I bought it actually.
Yeah, that's not bad. He done 4 episodes of the new Are You Afraid of the Dark series, which is quite good.
I never watched that. I was disappointed by Goosebumps. That shit was kind of trash.
The Are You Afraid of the Dark is better than Goosebumps, but it's
Okay.
still not. It's still never going to touch, I don't think, the originals.
It's not going to be like a weird Irish leprechaun. I just want to cover that one episode. Can we watch that one episode?
Sure, why not?
Or like a Patreon. Maybe we'll just like instead of like making this big thing, we'll just try to pick like this episode and then this episode for Patreon stuff. Cause like that would be fun. That one where that kid turns into the leprechaun is like that's my favorite episode for sure.
Okay, so I guess we'll start getting into this. So the plot for the movie is 8 unsuspecting high school seniors at a posh boarding school who delight themselves on playing games of lies come face to face with terror and learn that nobody believes a liar, even when they're telling the truth.
Yeah, of course that like teen hot heartthrob. I've been trying to tell Chelsea that I really want to watch Supernatural, and she's not going for it.
Oh yeah, with Thingy Padalecki, whatever his name is.
Yeah, because like I've never seen it. I want to watch it all from the beginning. I was like, everyone's told me that I would love it because
Yeah,
of what
you
I'm
would.
into.
Yeah, you would.
And then she's like, well, there's new shows we can watch. Like we just started the new seasons of Handmaid's Tale. Yeah, but that show is wild
yeah.
because I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very reflective of like what our society.
It's a bit grim at points as well, and like I can watch a lot of stuff, but some of the things I'm like, oh Jesus Christ.
I know. Because we just finished White Lotus, That show, like, if we'd ever want to cover series and shows, or like maybe just do like an update on new shows like Severance and stuff like that. Have you watched White Lotus? I don't want to see if you've seen it.
No,
You haven't seen any of it? There's 3
no.
seasons, dude. It's pretty messed up. You'd probably like it.
I love that. It's like it's messed up. I love it.
Well, it's like a kind of like thriller, like suspense. You don't really know what's going to happen. Someone always dies in the show, and it kind of leads up and it keeps you guessing. So that's good. You should definitely. And then we're obviously Righteous Gemstones. For anyone that's not seen that show, it's comedy is still alive in some TV shows because movies aren't allowed to do it because it offends everybody. But if have you've seen Righteous Gemstones, right?
Nope.
John Goodman, Adam Devine, the guy. Oh man, you gotta get on that, bro. Get on it.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Like I've had people recommend it to me. I just never.
Very funny.
I never got around
You're disappointing. You're disappointment.
making it to watch it. I didn't know actually that this was his feature debut, and he got the chance to make Cry Wolf after winning $1 million at the 2002 Chrysler $1 Million Film Festival.
Wow, that's
How cool is that?
cool.
Yeah, that's kind of cool, right?
Can we do that?
I know, right? And like even when you listen to the commentary tracks and stuff and you hear the guys talk about it, it seems very like that. It seems like, some friends who like tried something and it kind of happened to work out, and then they got to like see their vision come to life.
And he made other stuff afterwards, right?
Yeah.
That's what we are just talking about. Weird. That's cool.
I didn't notice that it was originally made as a R-rated film. It was trimmed down to PG-13 on the
I
studio.
hate how they did
Yeah.
that to so many horror movies where they're like, we got to get the most people into the seats as possible.
Mhm.
And it's like so disappointing because I'm like,
And I
oh
think-
man, it could have been gory as fuck.
I think as well the studios thought they were being really clever because they would trim it down to PG-13, right? Try and get as many people in the door as they could, and then try and use, well, we're going to have the uncut version which restores the original rating on DVD, and it will add all the violence back in. So now you've got to go buy the DVD as well. And
Gotta
it's like,
get your
I don't know if
shekels,
that,
man.
yeah, I don't know if that always translates, though. It's kind of a scummy thing to do.
Well,
But,
who owns Hollywood,
Well, this is it. So yeah, the film follows Owen Matthews, played by Julian Morris, who is a new student at Westlake Prep Academy, an elite
did a good
boarding
job.
school. Yeah. He quickly befriends a group of privileged students, including the charismatic but cunning Dodger, played by Lindy Booth. The group is known for playing the Liars Club, a game where they try and manipulate and deceive each other. Do you
redheads
know
never
anything?
trust redheads.
Do you know anything about that? Like those kind of games, or was that something that you ever done when you
You
were
think
like?
I went to college? Oh, it's fucking
I just mean in general, like when you were growing up.
kind of. We played strip poker. Is that the same thing?
So I, upon listening to the commentary track, I didn't know any of this, right? So
It's
it's
probably an American thing. Think about the frat house shit, man, and like hazing. It's like we're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
spank your bum with this
Weird.
paddle.
So
Like
bizarre
it's
and
so
weird
funny.
and-
We're gonna like cover your dick in shaving cream, and the dog's gonna lick it off while we all watch. Like the weirdest
Yeah,
shit
it's
that like
odd.
some of those colleges do would be actually still a funny episode though. I'm gonna cover it. Out.
So this is based on a mafia game. So it was adapted for the film to have only one wolf. So normally you'd have 3 wolves in the game. The actual game, like this is an actual game that you can play. The filmmakers as well said that they used this
I've heard of
idea.
this. Yeah, I've heard of this.
They've said that they used this idea because they used to play it when they were in college or some shit, or in school or high school or something like that.
The last guy has to suck my dick.
And so they tailored it a bit to only have one wolf. And obviously for the time, like for them, it seemed really on brand. So then I looked up more about it. So the Mafia game, created by Russian psychologist Dmitry Davidoff.
That's
in
why I know.
1986.
That's why I know what it is. I've heard this before. Yeah.
It is a party game focused on deception. The objective is for the Mafia, a small group of players, to eliminate all other players without being caught, while they try and figure out and accuse people in the Mafia. Played in 2 phases. Phase 1 is day and phase 2 is night. At night, all players must close their eyes and the Mafia can open them again and choose someone to kill. At the daytime, all remaining members can debate who they suspect and vote. The game ends when either the mafia are all caught or the mafia outnumber the other players.
We did this in school.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like they would have someone leave the room and then they would come back in, something like that. I can't remember the exact game, but they have someone leave the room, like in the classroom, and then come back in, and you had to like guess who like had something like that. I can't remember what it was though, but I definitely did this in school.
I heard of versions of this game. I'd never heard it referenced as mafia or anything like that.
Mm.
I did like this as a concept for the movie overall. I think,
Me too.
but they did say that they struggled to. There was a lot of issues like in the prep to make sure that they were being extremely clever because they didn't want to make it too confusing, obviously, to watch a movie.
Yeah.
But then they also didn't want to make it so boring that it was like, what's the point in this game? Like, I don't, you know what I mean? So there was like a really fine balance. They thought it was going to be like kind of a cool, simple idea. And then it was this weird, like, okay, we can't make it so difficult that nobody can understand, but we can't make it so easy that it's not clever anymore.
It did. I don't think it translated well. Like I would. I'm gonna give my full thoughts now, but like I think they did a good job at like portraying that game, and it's so funny because when you're at the reading about it, I was like, yeah, I definitely remember doing this in school, and having somebody like leave the classroom,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they're
yeah.
like, oh, you gotta pick some, something like
Also,
that.
I don't know if anybody picked this up. If you have seen this movie, there's someone extremely famous in this movie. He plays a
Who?
character called Rich Walker.
I don't know who that is.
So the character of Rich Walker is, let me just give me 1 second here.
His name is Dick Walker.
So dumb.
I know.
So dumb.
It's my
Like,
sense of humor. I say this shit at work, all like stupid stuff like that at work all the time. I'll get him laughing though. I'll get him laughing. Dirty dollars fill their pockets.
I feel like now if I pull this up, you're gonna know.
Okay.
The
Can I say something? I fucking hate the teacher. Fuck that guy. I
dude
wanna
with the
see-
glasses.
Yeah, I want to see a flagpole go up his ass.
Yeah, so
and,
do you
like,
know who
mess
he
up
is,
his
though?
skull.
That's who I'm talking about. Do you know who
Yeah.
plays that
I
character?
figured that, like, I was trying to think of like who would be like the most famous. He did look very familiar though.
Yeah, so that's Bon Jovi.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Right. I never clocked this, right? I've seen this
Wow,
movie
why would
multiple
he do
times,
this movie?
and I never clocked
He looks
this,
so
right?
familiar. Wow.
And then when the guys said it, they were like, right now you're looking at this character here and you're wondering, I've definitely seen him before. And then they were like, yes, you have. That is John Bon Jovi.
It's my life, and it's
His-
now or never.
His agent reached out to the team. They didn't look for him. His agent reached out to the filmmakers and said, yeah, John has read the script for this film and loves it and wants to be a part of the movie.
He
in
wants
any
to
way
be
he
the
can.
teacher that fucks the underage student.
I don't think he even said that. I think
I-
he just said, I just want to have any part, like not expecting it to be like a kind of a bigger role.
Wow.
Yeah,
I actually like
thought
this
that
song.
was
It's
wild.
my life. When I went to Cuba, I'll never forget that song because we're at like the club on the resort or whatever.
Mhm.
And there was only like essentially there's a few people that hung out at that club, maybe like 10 of us. And we all kind of got to know each other, 10 to 15 of us. I remember that song came out, we're wasted. It's like, it's my life. We're screaming at the top of our lungs. So dumb. And like, that's hilarious because I'm like, he looks so fucking familiar. And I'm surprised even Chelsea didn't say something like that.
I
like,
know,
to,
right?
like-
It's one I never clocked that before. That it was
but
him.
hey, he does play the character well. Is that
Yeah,
the
he does.
only role he's acted in?
Um,
Because like that's kind of like, because if you have the IDMB pulled up, like that's, I don't remember seeing him in anything else, but it is weird because he played that kind of like creepy, but trying to give like the what's his name, the benefit of the doubt, and like weird.
no, he's been in maybe one other thing.
Weird.
And anyway,
Wow,
notable,
he
but
played
this
a
is the one
whole
that-
role in a movie, like literally a whole.
I
and
know,
then
right?
that's it.
And supposedly he had a lot of ideas for like how he taught like some of the storylines and progressions, and they said like he was actually quite good at like
Hmm.
giving them little notes and be like, well, maybe if you done this, or maybe if my character done that, or this person done this. They were like, he was actually quite like he was like super into it and like didn't
Yeah.
do a Hollywood thing. Literally came in like everybody else. Like you would swear they were like you would swear he was just an extra. He didn't want any like special treatment. He didn't want a big trailer. He didn't want anything. He just came in, done his work, was super
That's cool.
quiet.
I would love, like, like I've always been creative minded since I was young. Like I wanted to be a director, an actor. Like, I wish you could do those things in those avenues without having to like pay thousands upon thousands of dollars to a college that probably might not do anything for you. You know what I mean? Because like I've always wanted to do that. It's like just give me a script. I want to play a character, and I'll do it. Like especially if it was catered more towards like my skill set. Um, you know, I'm not going to tell people what that is because I have a special skill set, but you'll
It's
find
like
out one
fucking
day.
like Liam Neeson here and Taken.
I have a special skill set and I'm going to use it.
I did like the use of AOL, and I feel like it's such a throwback to those kind of times, like we've already talked about, and definitely our age group can really like resonate with that now.
100%.
It's wild.
That's gone. That world is gone, people. That
Yep.
world is gone. You'll never get it back.
End of story. I have to say, I felt pretty engaged for most of the movie. I think the mystery of
too.
it, the story, and then all the little red herrings that keep getting popped up.
I was having pickle pizza, drinking beer. Like it was like and it's an hour and a half. Perfect. Like
It's just
like
yeah,
I'm like, it's not because like I'm like a TikTok generation fuck that needs like if a movie is worth putting 2 hours and like we watched the first Dune because I just want to watch the second one because I've heard the second one's better. It was like there's stuff in that I get it's explaining the story, but it was like kind of confusing and long, and I'm like it almost longer than it needed to be for being a two-parter movie. Like where they didn't necessarily, but they're trying to keep it faithful to the book. I understand all that stuff for the Dune fans that have read the book. You psychopaths. But like, I just want to watch for the second one. But I'm like Star Wars, I can watch a 2-hour Star Wars movie, especially the original, and I'm like hooked in, right in on it, But there's some movies where you don't.
then
need
I will
that,
say,
and
right, like
try
on
to
the topic
expand
of
it
Star
too much.
Wars, as you go through some of the series, some of those newer ones, I'm like, fuck me, 2 hours is like,
I know. Where they don't need to add certain, like, why
Yeah.
did they need to add Luke drinking that titty milk? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's the point? Like they don't need to add some of those things. And weirdly enough, like offshoot, I would like to do a whole deep dive into Star Wars at some point. I love Star Wars, and like even the newer ones, there's ones that like I think that like they could have gone a totally different direction. They could have been way better. But Kylo Ren, like I like Adam Driver's character. Not necessarily anything else, but his character is
Yeah.
like almost worth watching the movie because his progression of like, am I a villain or am I a good guy? Am I a villain or am I a good guy? And it's like those could have been so different though if they just would have like not been Disney.
I'm for everybody listening to this, I'm sorry. I know we're 30 minutes in and we've barely talked about this movie.
I'm just excited.
We just have a problem where we can't stick to anything.
Yeah.
I had written down as well when they started to create that story of the wolf.
Yeah.
It kind of shows like and this is in early days, like, but like the power, I suppose, of media and like how fast negative gossip spreads, I think.
Yeah.
Versus like if it had been a positive thing, like it probably wouldn't have. It's the fact that it was like this big dramatic story that like the whole
Sensational.
school, yeah,
But
like the whole school all of a sudden is like, oh yeah, I heard this part, and like it's like Chinese whispers. Everyone's like adding pieces on extra. They're like, oh, my friend heard that. Like,
why do you
such a
call it
thing happened.
Chinese whispers?
I don't know. That's what it's called here. Do you ever hear that game, Chinese whispers? Someone starts with a lie, and then
Hung, and then it goes like
I'll whisper to you and be like,
telephone game. Telephone game. That's what we call it.
I'll whisper a lie and be like, Tom has a big dick, and then
I don't know if that's a
by the-
lie.
by the time it goes around in the circle, then it's like
That's
it
called the
gets messy.
telephone game. Why do you call it the
over here-
Chinese whisper?
I don't know. Over here, it's always been called Chinese.
Sounds
whisper.
like you're gonna you're gonna eat out a girl and be like, I'm gonna give her the old Chinese whisper.
Weird. I never thought of it like that, but okay. The idea as well when the murder occurs, that it's part of the game, or is there someone who is trying to commit murders who decided to use this as like a cover?
Yeah.
and potentially having a scapegoat. Like, cause it creates that weird thing of like, okay, is this just like part of the like fake story, or has somebody saw an opportunity now, somebody else in the school or whatever? Oh, this thing is like going around now. I can like jump on and do this, and it can be blamed on the wolf or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Um, I did kind of like that. We get a lot of time with the characters as well.
Which is
And I
nice.
feel like,
Yeah.
yeah, throughout the story, like I feel like I was suspicious of probably every character at one point, in their own ways. And I'm assuming like obviously that was done on purpose to try and make it hard to figure out like who could be, because they do at different points. They're like, I wonder, is it Jared Padalecki's character? I wonder, is it her character? I wonder, is it his character?
Mhm, mhm.
It does that
They
quite
did a
well, I
good
think.
job at that. I did enjoy that. Where like even though I've seen it, I was still kind of guessing. You know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, that scene when Owen is the main guy, isn't he? Yeah, and Dodger's the chick, right?
Yeah, Dodger.
Yeah, when they're in when they're in the library talking, and like they're talking about like absentee parents and stuff like that. I feel like that ties in greatly because obviously they're in boarding school, they kind of feel unwanted, and it shows in a subtle way. I don't think they overly done it, but like it's like both of them are like seeking attention. So
Yeah, oh yeah.
technically, it could be either of them would be like the kind of main suspect for like, is this just one of the two of you looking for like notice and you want everybody to be like talking about you or like noticing you? And then obviously
Yeah, I
well,
agree.
what we think is the real wolf or whatever at that point. I do like that scene in the library, with the automatic lights.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
can
I
see
agree.
them
I
like,
like that too. And that's the old
yeah.
lady being like, "You can go to the German philosophy," and I was like, "Oh shit, nobody's reading the Nazi books or whatever." That's why it seemed like to me.
I thought that was quite a good scene though. It was quite like spooky,
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
lights and stuff coming on. I did like that.
And I like
Um,
how like you think it's this an old lady. It's nice.
yeah, that like false jump scare. That's a very like early 2000s kind of jump scare as well.
Mhm.
Kind of remind me of like Wes Craven or something.
Yeah, Wesley Craven.
Um, when Owen actually sees Dodger kissing the teacher, and then like he sort of feels like, I don't know, like played by her or whatever, and he gets like overly emotional, even though I feel like he's trying to play off like he doesn't, but then he does.
Yeah, I know. I'm a cool guy. I'm not falling for your shit. And then yeah.
And you can tell she's just one of those bitches that's like, she loves that, the
Oh
attention
yeah.
and like
She
the,
wants every guy to be hounding for her. And like I could say some sexist things right now, sure, but like it's like men don't have that as much in the same regard as women, where they're like they could just lead on like seven different guys, and it makes them feel great, right? In the moment, it always ends in failure, but like realistically, they because they can, right? This is the way men are programmed and women are programmed. They can like kind of lead you on, and then and then they're like feeding off of. We talk. Well, it's not out yet on my show, but might be by the time this one's out. The psychic vampire thing, of like they're feeding off your fucking energy to make themselves feel better. It's literally what they're doing.
I that classroom scene
Mhm.
when Owen says that someone planted a knife in his bag.
Oh yeah,
It I that's a really clever scene because, well, for me anyway, I'm like, I'm literally writing this down as I'm watching. I'm like, did they, or is he actually the killer and he's still trying to play himself off as like this like hard done by, like, I'm just a poor kid who got sent to boarding school, but he's actually fucking some sort of like attention seeking maniac.
yeah, and like it kind of keeps you guessing. Like I did, like that was like almost like shocking when you see it happen because you're like, oh fuck, like you know how much trouble you'd be in if there was a hunting knife in
Hmm.
your bag, like a that you slaughter like a deer with.
And then I'm like, because I couldn't remember the character's name, but I'm like, is Bon Jovi's character actually the killer? And I'm like, he has a pretty
Yeah,
good
I know.
motive as
Yeah,
well
I
because
know.
he's like trying to hide the fact that he's having a relationship with a female student.
I
So I'm like,
definitely thought it
is it?
was him.
And he kind of turns there. Did you notice that he gets quite like kind of like spooky and like a bit aggressive. And I'm like, okay, we didn't see that from him before. He kind of seemed like a nerdy teacher, but now he's like completely turned. And I'm like, you're kind of looking at both of them and being like, I don't know which one of you guys, because both of you seem to have an aggressive streak. So I'm not sure which one is like,
I know
who should I
he
believe?
played his character off as good and creepy, and that's what I'm saying. Why, if he wasn't anything else, because surprisingly, he actually does a really good job of playing that character and like acting in general.
Yeah, he does. He does. I have to give him that. I love how this movie is shot as well. It's beautifully shot and like all the steady cam work and stuff is
I
like
agree with
really
that.
well done.
I agree with that.
And like how all the scenes are lit and like the kind of color palette.
Oh, I wrote that down. I took like 2 notes and I was like, I'm just gonna enjoy this movie because I used to take a lot of notes, but I'm like, if it's fresh in my mind, I can remember a lot of the things, especially when we're like doing it right away and stuff like that. So it's probably smart to do it that way. But like, it's almost like in scenes where they're like, when they're it's interesting. Okay. So when they're in like classrooms and stuff like that, it's like brightly lit, focuses on Dodger. When they're in the chapel to play the game, the flashlight almost makes like this white light blur effect, which it shows you their focus on them specifically while they're pointing the flashlights. I would agree with that. It is beautifully shot. Like it looks it was weird. It was almost like it was calm for some scenes and the way they did it, and then it was like a soap opera for some. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That like
Yeah.
weird tinge that soap operas have.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I
couldn't
I
really
don't want soap operas for everybody. My grandma did, the one that is in the grave.
Jesus Christ. The scene as well
All
with
my
Owen
grandparents
getting
are dead. Fuck it.
mine are not, all of mine are still alive. Thank God.
How old were they? Fuck, when they were like, did they have your parents when they were like 4? Just kidding.
My grandfather was 79 last week. Then my birthday was yesterday, and my grandmother is 78 next week.
You guys got a different diet, eh?
I mean, I guess.
Fucking eat 4-leaf clovers really keeps you. Keeps you
The
less.
scene with Owen getting attacked when he's like mopping up or whatever, I thought that was quite good because it shows that
Oh
his
yeah, yeah.
character is like kind of smart for a change. Like when he pretends to run outside into the woods, and then he waits for the killer to run out, and then he locks him out.
You know, I was like, oh my god, someone actually being kind of intelligent when
Yeah.
they're being chased by a killer, which you never see. You're like, oh my god, there's this killer chasing after me. Let me run upstairs so I have no fucking exit. Like,
Because at first, I think it gives you the idea it looks like he's going to run out into the woods, and I'm like, that is literally the worst thing you
like,
could
do you remember
possibly do.
You remember in Scream where like Michelle Gellar runs upstairs?
Yeah, it's
It's
like,
just like,
why
what
would,
the
yeah, and
fuck
then
are
she
you
gets
doing?
trapped, and like she goes and like he fires her out the window,
Yeah.
and after that, you're like, that's exactly what else did you think was going to happen? He was just
It's
going to
like-
stop.
Yeah. So
But yeah, I did write that down. I was like, I enjoyed this, that the characters were somewhat clever rather than just constant dumb decisions. All the red herrings and characters blaming each other. I thought that was really well executed because each of them, when they start to kind of turn on each other, they all have pretty like pretty substantial reasons for blaming other characters. It's not just like, well, you know, where were you when I was in the shower? It wasn't like all the
yeah.
stuff you were kind of going, actually, you know what? It actually could be them, or it could be him, or it could be her. And I'm like, fuck, now I actually have no idea.
There's always that one character that has like piercings all over his face, and
Yeah.
it's like, you know what I mean? Like the punk douchebag. Nobody
Because it was
really
him.
likes him.
They were really pushing, weren't they? For most
Yeah.
of it, they were like, "It's definitely that dude," because he doesn't show up in most of the scenes.
But then obviously they're gonna kind of drag it out and make and you know, it's like repeat the lie often. And eventually, everyone will believe it, right? Where at first, like, nah, they're just making that too obvious, they're making it too obvious, and then is it him? And then there's gonna be some weird twist of why he's doing this, right? So they do like kind of keep you guessing. Like, it's kind of cool. These guys kind of just create. It must have like they wrote this script out and then.
Yeah, I
have,
think
like-
that they had like the idea for it, and I think they shot a short. So you know at the start, you know that death scene at the start in the forest.
Yeah.
I think that's how they won the film competition thing with that.
I wish I could do something like that.
Yeah, and then
Why
they
are
got
you
the money
over
to
here?
make
Why
it.
can we just I'll dress up like a woman in the forest and we can just run around and just two of us for filming. Can I tell you a joke? The fans are some people might get offended by this, but like,
Oh Christ!
this is why I have to be careful on your show. But we were just me and Aaron, and I mean Aaron, me and Brett and Sawyer were joking about like filming stuff, and doing like a skit and start like using some of the like just like fuck around, like do some funny YouTube stuff if we had time or whatever. And like Brett's got like some like war, like he's got like war helmets and like a jacket from his German grandfather, and it would just be funny to like it's just like the trench jacket or whatever, right? But not like an SS uniform. But we, we're joking about like having like somebody from like during the war times and they like come back into like the future, and then Sawyer's like this built muscular dude, and then have him dress up like a woman and then be like, what is going on? What the fuck is happening? And then it'd be like, oh, what are you doing? And be like, oh, this is what we think a woman is nowadays. Yes.
I'm not going to say anything about
I know we can't understand. It's far. I'm not saying that trans women aren't women, so don't worry about that because they definitely are.
I'm not worried about that. I did actually like when they admit that it was them playing into a prank, and they all started to blame Randall. I think that's the guy you were referencing, the kind of punky guy.
Yeah, Randall.
Yeah, they all start to blame him, and like, but then there was part of me that was like, no, that's too easy. There's no
Just do
way.
it with a tongue ring and stuff like that too.
And I'm like, but then I'm like, or was he the scapegoat? Or okay, so the whole thing was a prank then. So none of this. I'm like, what? What the fuck is going on? So nothing happened. Nobody. What? And that kind of threw me off. I was like, weird. And then she explains like what really happened with the teacher.
Oh, yeah. We're not at the end, right? Where they're like kind of piecing it all together. Because like once you find out, right, that he's not like Randall has nothing to do with it. Randall is his rich name, so his posh name. But once you like kind of when they start piecing things together, it is interesting because it keeps you on this like it pulls you in this direction and then kind of
you
pushes
find out
you off.
like that part. You find out that they show how all the supposed attacks were all set up, and it was all part of like the prank. And the dude is kind of like
so good. Imagine fucking with someone that bad though.
That bad, yeah. And like you can tell he's a bit like, what? And like, yeah, it was all just a big prank. We were just pranking it. Like it's not
like
not
how
deal,
cruel. People are pretty cruel in this world. But like how really like over this shit you're gonna like it's so like ruthless.
Yeah, weird. But then I think that's when it has you believe all that, and then it switches again because it goes to that scene, the bathroom scene with the chick sending the pictures.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then what's his name? I can't remember the guy's name.
The
black
fat
guy.
douchebag.
I got in trouble for saying the black guy before.
I know.
So okay, I'm gonna rectify that because I said this before and I got in a lot of trouble. The character's name is Lewis. Sorry, he's played by an actor called Paul James. My apologies.
Well, if it was a movie and it was all Asian people, think about this, right? Like a kung fu movie, and the villain probably most likely would always be a white guy. That's what seems to be the trend lately. And then you're like, the white guy. Why would that be bad?
I know, yeah.
If I go to Japan and I watch a movie in Japan and there's one white guy in the movie, and I'm like, oh, the white guy that's in the movie. Yeah, no shit.
It wouldn't bother me, but I mean, I think it bothers some
people.
people.
Are offended by everything nowadays.
But
less
yeah,
than 8%. Remember that, everybody. I'm not gonna
I
say
did like
what,
that
but
scene where she's sending him pictures and it's like that.
Sexy picture.
Yeah,
and
it's
it would have been
that,
like,
yeah, that old school, like, yeah, because I think it actually even loads like that. It loads in like 4 parts. It goes like,
I remember those.
And I actually remember, here's a funny story. When I was younger and I got like one of my first like phones that could like have fucking like mobile internet or whatever it was
Yeah.
at the time. And like, over here you didn't have, it wasn't so much as big a thing as is over with you guys. You didn't have like a phone plan. You did have phone plans, but it was normally like people with businesses
You'd buy
or like businessmen.
$20, but
Yeah.
that's $20 for the month or whatever it was.
Yeah. So like you had like you could buy these like 20
Yes, and you
pound
type in
phone
the
card
number or
things. Yeah.
whatever, and like,
And I remember having that, and I remember there used to be this site called Phone Erotica. And I remember going onto that, and it was like, dude, you could like buy pictures. It was like 3 pictures for like £10 or whatever.
so
And it
good.
would already cost you probably like £10 in phone credit to like even load the website. And I remember like waiting for this shit to load on my phone. It would be going like ding, ding, ding. And like you might see like a nipple. It'd be like, some like weird like Playboy
I feel like I
model looking
remember
chick
that
with
shit.
big
Yeah,
giant knockers. And like you might see one big monkey finger nipple. And I'm like, I just paid £20 to look at a nipple. Oh my God.
I know. It's so. I could tell you stories, but I probably shouldn't.
And then
But like,
fast forward to 2025, and I can for free see people spread their asshole
yeah, I know.
and like
On
do all
Chatter.
sorts of crazy shit.
It's so crazy because like back then that was such like I feel like I did that same thing. I remember the one time. This is like I was excited to talk about this. It's fun, like for all the fans out there. I'm not as offensive as people probably think I am. I'm actually just a really nice guy. That just loves. I'm from the '90s, man. What the fuck do you expect? We used to use the word retard and shit. Like, what do you expect from? I was raised at a time where like everything was funny because it was offensive. Jew jokes, black jokes, white jokes. Not that there's many of those, but you know what I mean. But, yeah, that took forever. And like, you know what I mean? But like, it was just a funny, different time. The one time me and my buddy Scott.
What I was gonna do there the entire time you were talking, I was just gonna keep on
Yeah,
as you were talking.
pretty much, man. That's like pretty like I've done that with episodes where I've got Instagram to do it for clips of the show, and because me and Billy would drink a lot on the show, and it'd be less. We'd like say fuck this, but be like we'd say like a lot of f shots constantly, way more than we do now. And it would be like beep 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 beep. It was like the whole show would be like a beep if we like actually didn't swear or whatever, or edited it. But my buddy Scott, he was the one I've told you about that. We watched American History X together, and then he came to my house the next day with his head shaved. Do you remember that? Mary, me tell you about that? Remember my buddy Scott? We watched American History X. He shaved his head after we watched the movie. He didn't understand what the concept of the movie was. The next day, he shows up at my house. He had long emo black hair. Literally, the next day, he shows up at my house, shaved head, swastika armband with present paper, like it's from like Christmas wrapping paper on his arm, with a fake gun. My mom answers the door and be like, "Yeah, Scott's here." And it's just like he looks like a skinhead, and I was like, "You don't get the premise of the film, man. What the fuck are you doing?" And so with him, there was one time we were like staying up late, we were watching, those infomercials like call Becky late at night, hear Becky talk, So we did that. We didn't even get to talk to somebody, and it racked up my mom's phone bill like $250. We didn't even talk to anybody, and
We
it
had
racked up the phone bill that much.
the version of that over here was called Babe Station.
It's
And
a
it was the same
fat
shit.
chick
It was
sitting
like,
there on a couch, man.
yeah, it was like, a chick maybe sometimes might have her tits out, and like she'd be like twerking her like flat ass at the screen.
What?
And like, yeah, you'd be like calling in, like, but like again, it was the same thing. Or you might, if you somehow managed to get through eventually after spending probably hundreds, and like some chick comes on for a second, it's probably not even the chick on the phone at
It
all.
was so expensive. We didn't even talk to anybody. We were joking about doing it, and when it it didn't even go through. We were like, "It's like click this for this, click this for this," and it just reminds me of like it would pan, and it'd be like it wouldn't be like any nudity, but someone like a nightgown, and she'd be like pans up on her legs, their thighs. She wear like a pink nightgown, and she's like,
It's just, isn't it crazy how like that was the thing though that would like
hundreds of dollars for what?
Yeah, it's actually wild. Like it just shows the times, like, and how different everything is.
Yes, go outside, find a woman. They're out there.
Yeah, the bathroom scene with the chick sending the pictures, and then the dude sees the wolf in the background.
Is that what he's
and-
technically called? I guess I call him like the ski mask man. But I guess he is the
yeah,
wolf.
they called him the wolf in the
Wolf,
movie.
yeah.
That's like the name they gave him, whatever.
Very simple design for a slasher killer, but like
And then-
works.
when they find Randall or Randall or whatever the fuck,
Randall. It just makes me think of a rich guy.
when they find him dead in the confession box in the church, and then
It's been
Owen
a
wants to
long
go and
time.
find Dodger.
Yeah.
He sees Lewis get killed at the top of the stairs, apparently. We see
Yeah.
Dodger attacked by the wolf as Owen tries to come and save her. Again,
That's
leads
like
Owen to
going
think-
so far, dude. Like when you're doing those things, you're making it look like a murder, like a false murder. Like three
which
times,
is wild.
4 times.
We see Dodger attacked by the wolf again as Owen tries to come and save her. Again, leads Owen to think the teacher, played by Bon Jovi, is the killer.
Yeah.
And then they get into that weird. Remember that's a really good scene between the
I
two of them,
agree.
and like
Really good.
you can see again how both of them. Bon Jovi's character is a bit like, oh shit, because Owen says to him
Yeah.
like, "Oh, has it got anything to do with the fact that you're having relationships with female students or
Mhm.
whatever?" And you can tell that like Bon Jovi's character is a bit like, "You motherfucker,"
Mhm.
and like both of them have this weird standoff, and I'm like, you know what?
They're supposed to be in high school. So
Yeah,
she
could
would
it-
have been like 15, 16.
Could it be either of these characters? And then they have that weird scuffle. The gun goes off, and it turns out that Owen is after shooting
Yeah.
Bon Jovi. And then that's when, because that all happens, is why they tell him, like, they're like, Owen, it was a joke, man. You fucking shot somebody over a joke. And like he's like, but wait a second, though. I didn't fucking like this is like you said, this is way more than a joke, man. You can't just turn around and say, "Oh, dude,
It's
you're only having a bit of a
joke.
joke." Like, I can't believe you shot somebody. It's like, guys, the prank you played is not like a regular
You
prank.
convinced me that there was someone out there slaughtering you in such a way where you clearly saw me run around panicked while I saw you covered in blood.
And you
stains
saw me get like
everything.
progressively more and more like wigged out. Like it wasn't just like he went from 0 to 100. Like this progression, they could see that his intensity was getting like
He would
more and
definitely
more.
have gotten in Canada nowadays. If oh yeah, say that never. Just certain people get targeted more than others, right? You can do anything if you're somebody else, some people else. But like you would be like get at least manslaughter, right? Like you would still because you did kill him, but it wasn't intentional. Like
Yeah.
because
So
technically
what?
you're
Yeah.
defending yourself or what you
Yeah.
think is.
So I
That's
think
why it's
what's
good they
supposed to
played it off
happen
like
there
that.
is he gets arrested or whatever, and he goes to the station, and then we see clip of the police going through Bon Jovi's office.
Oh
right?
yeah, that's what switches it.
That's
yeah,
what,
yeah.
yeah. So then they open the drawers and we see pictures of students in the drawers. So what turns out then is Owen's dad arrives and he's played by a really good actor as well, Gary Cole.
Yeah.
He comes in and he's like, "Oh, I believe the charges are going to get dropped, son. Everything is going to be all right."
That guy's really famous too. Yeah,
Yeah,
because I'm like,
yeah,
that
he
guy,
is.
I know that guy. I was like, look at
Yeah.
all these big actors in this.
And he was kind of explained. So I think the whole idea was supposed to be like Bon Jovi's character was like doing the groovy creep and was like having sex with like loads of underage girls or students or whatever.
You know, I know
Um,
the dad from Pineapple Express. He's like,
He's in a shit ton of stuff.
that's Pineapple Express. You know, like that's and interestingly enough, have I told you this story? Why is this this is a story time?
Do you know what first comes to my head when I think of that guy before I forget?
Yeah.
He plays fucking Ricky Bobby's dad in Talladega Nights.
Oh yeah, he does.
Son, if you're
Ricky
not
Bob-
first, you're last.
Yeah, Ricky Bobby, you can't do this shit. Did you? I did. That fuck students. There was one guy that was really creepy, and I'm not. Whatever. I don't give a shit. There's a chick named Megan Hoy. Megan Hoy. We called her. And she was like a blonde chick, good, like she's decent looking or whatever. And she fucked like this disgusting shop teacher that like looks like a hippie with like a gray hair ponytail and a big fucking gray beard, glasses. Look at like literally looking at pedo. And then but there's one guy named Mr. Davidson. I would call him that if I knew his name. I think I've told you the story before, but like he was having sex with somebody that like I knew and grew up with. This chick Maria or whatever. No one's gonna ever know their names unless I tell you your last names, but I won't do that. I could though. And they were like, he got caught doing it. She was 17 at the time or whatever, and then so I think she was 17, almost 18. So it was almost like he just got, because at 10 year, he was able to go to another school. Guess what? Because I don't like high school. I don't like school in general. I got kicked out. So, or essentially I dropped out and started working and then went back to another school or whatever, right? I go to this school. I see him. I'm like, hey, Mr. Davidson. And he knows that I know what he did. And then all the girls were like, he's so nice. He was like a younger teacher, like in his late 30s or whatever, like decent looking guy. And I was like, hey, and all these girls like, he's so nice. And I was like, he's a fucking predator. You should probably watch out for him. He literally had sex. I know, isn't that crazy? That the craziest thing that I saw him at another school after he was kicked out of the school I went to for doing that, and then all these girls are still saying, like, I'm like, you're just advocating.
That generally happens quite a bit, though, I think.
Yeah, because guess what? Guess where they hide? We've talked on my show about it, in places where they can have access to those people, motherfucker.
Maybe it's not as prevalent anymore, but it's definitely still a thing. But
I think it's more prevalent now. They're just trying to hide it better.
So then we get that revelation where he's like,
"Can you zoom in? How did you zoom in when we were doing the Billy episode?"
Yeah, I can, but I don't know if I can like change the.
That's cool.
I don't know if I'll be. Oh, I can change the images.
She did a great job, eh?
Yeah, she did. She's very good, and that's like what like,
It sort of made me think of the movie was her character, right? Like that's what was memorable to me.
You know what? As well, I could see myself being that young and getting reeled in by a chick like that.
You know what they say about redheads, right?
I'll be honest. Like I could see myself getting reeled in.
Yeah. Do you know what they say about redheads?
I don't.
Freaky. I worked with this guy. Okay, his name is Will Smith. He was also black.
Of course it is.
Literally, and he was kind of creepy. When I was a chef, he was just this wild dude from like St. Lucia or whatever, a black dude, kind of thick accent, and he'd be like, "Oh, those redheads, man." He would call 18-year-old girls young tidies, and he was like, "Those red." Yeah, I know. Very yikes. And he would be like, those redheads, man, they're wild. They'll do anything. And I'm like, why do you know this, man? You're like 65. He was 65, man.
Little bit creepy.
40, though. He did look like he was 40. Black don't crack.
Oh well, yeah, that is true. But yeah, we get that revelation that like, okay, they found out that the teacher was doing all spooky stuff with the students, and this was like the way that
it kind of like wrapped it in.
Yeah, the way that Owen was getting off or whatever, because the police were like, okay, well, yeah, you had a scuffle, it was like accidental, and then also now the guy you killed, it turns out that he was like some weird, like, yeah, he's some weird creepy guy, so you're going to be let out. So a cop comes into the room with Owen and his dad, and he's like, yeah, there's like whatever chick here to see you.
Somebody's looking for you.
Yeah. And he's like, go ahead, son. Everything's going to be all right, son. And then he gets up and he goes out, and it's Dodger.
Yeah.
And she comes up and she's like, oh my God. And I can't believe, like, I didn't think it was going to go this far and whatever. And she's like hugging him and whatever. And then she says, what did she say again? It's something like, if I had have known, so I can't remember her line. Yeah. She says, if I had have known something. And you can see his expression change as he goes, as he's hugging her. He's like, and like she kind of moves, and he goes, no, you wouldn't. And she moves away, and she's looking, she's like, what are you talking about? And he was like, you knew exactly what was going to happen. And she's like, what? And he's like, yeah, it all happened exactly how you wanted it to. And then she's like this, she's like kind of crunching her brow, And they even
Mhm.
talk about this in the commentary. And if you watch it, it's a really subtle thing, but it shows
I
the change
noticed.
in her.
I was
Yeah.
waiting for it because I was like, I kind of like that.
So she's like, she has this weird, like, expression as if like, what are you talking about? And then as he goes, no, this played out exactly how you wanted it to. And then she goes, even if that were true, no one would believe you're right.
Mhm.
And it's like the
It
instant
reminds me of another
realization.
movie, man. There's another movie where they do this thing at the end. I can't think of it right now. I'm sure what some of the fans will know, but like where it's like it's almost like doom 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 doom, and you get all the flashbacks. Like you're like it all kind of lines up. There's another movie that I'm thinking of. I don't know what it is, but it's the same thing. We're near the end of the film. It happens, and it's like oh dun dun dun, and everything starts like happening at once, and you start to realize these like throwbacks of this movie did it really well, but there's another movie that I'm thinking of that does the same kind of thing where like it, especially like a horror movie, early 2000s, and they start piecing everything together where they start showing you. But I get to say this does hold the candle for that type of ending because at the end I was like, it's like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. You know what I mean? Like I'm like,
Yeah, like I
yeah,
really thought it was really clever, and if you ever get a chance to listen to the filmmaker
it's like The
commentary,
Village, you know, when you finally realize
yeah,
what was going on the whole time, you're like, oh fuck.
um, but yeah, he gets arrested for the murders, charges get dropped, and then when he's talking with Dodger at the end, he realizes it was her all along, and Bon Jovi's character was a pawn that she used Owen to murder him. So basically, the whole idea was he had
Yeah.
figured out that you were having a relationship or sex with him, but then you found out that he was also having sex with other girls,
And
and then you
killing
got
that he probably killed the chick from the beginning.
super jealous.
Oh yeah, but it was
Um,
her that did it. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Because at
and
first you think that's
because that's how
him.
it ties back. So then it kind of makes you go, right, did he? So was he doing something, and then you done this then as well? So there's like two separate issues going on,
Yes, yeah,
and then it
definitely.
turns out that it shows that she's the one that committed the murder at the start.
But because he
Um,
was also sleeping with another student.
yeah, and so this was something I thought was quite
Wow.
fascinating
Yeah.
that was in the commentary where they said, so most people believe that they have the final interaction of the movie between Owen and Dodger figured out, but they don't.
Mm.
So the audience is given the assumption that she slipped up and said something that she shouldn't have said, right? That's kind of the impression I got, that she said something and he goes, huh, that's weird that you said
Yeah,
it
that
that way.
draws a red flag.
Yeah, that he kind of like not pushes her away, but he kind of moves back from her and goes.
Yeah. Wait a
So
second. Wait a
supposedly
tick.
that's not the case from the filmmakers. In fact, she basically told the truth for the first time. When she mentions the teacher being involved with that other girl, Owen realizes that she would have always played the prank as it was about revenge from the start. And I think the editing here was amazing as well, how they kept like flashing back. And the ending interaction is incredibly well acted. I have to say, the first time I saw that, I was completely blindsided by the twist because I
Yeah, yeah.
thought it was her
Hmm.
at one point, and then I was like, right now, there's no premise for it being her, so it's definitely a dude.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, it's either the teacher or maybe was it fucking Owen all along. I'm like, right, it's
Oh,
definitely
well,
something
even like
like that.
I feel like when I was a kid, I kind of remember that, right? So like as an adult, I was still like, what the fuck? When I was like what 15 or whatever when this came out, 14, I think when this came
Mhm.
out, I saw it when I was 15-ish. Um I was still like what? Like kind of like I liked there's not many movies that are able to play that off and it still holds up. You know, it's still like I still enjoyed that. Like
Yeah,
I've seen this before years and years ago, which is so funny that I'm like, and I've definitely seen it. I saw it a couple. I've seen it like a couple times. You know what I mean? Like where I've seen it at least like I don't know 2, 3, 4 times, something like that in my lifetime. Um, but even I don't know, maybe it's been 10 years, something like that. I don't know, 8 years. I definitely watched this not that long ago, and I still forgot about like how the succession goes
same.
of like
Yeah, same. And I think even if you're kind of thinking, oh, it is her, still when it's acted out like that, you're still like, huh, fucking
yeah,
bitch.
I know it's so true. I
But
I
yeah,
really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that realization at the end though, that like she played a game all along basically, and then when he figures it all out and she continues to play dumb, and then the fact that like he was basically her mark from day one, everything was planted. And I just, yeah, there was the line. So I was like, I absolutely love when she says the line, honestly, Owen, if all that were true, who would even believe you? And then she just turns around and walks away. And he's just left there with this like dumbfounded expression on his face where he's like, fucking
I
bitch.
didn't even get that pussy. You
And
know?
it's like she got away with everything, and there's no way
Yeah.
kind of back now to like, how am I going to prove any of this? Because technically, I have no proof other than the fact that I figured it out.
Mhm.
Like, I don't have any, like, do you know what I mean? There's nothing to
Yeah, yeah.
prove. Like, how can he prove to the police? Well, they're going to say, okay, well, you did kill the teacher. And he's going to say, yeah, but I killed the teacher because she was setting me up all along. And she was using her friends and everybody else's pawns in this like fake prank game. But
Yeah, yeah.
none of them realized that she was actually at a like the next level up where she was using that fake prank that they were all in on to
Mhm.
get him to commit a murder to suit her
Which is
narrative
like
to get
very
revenge.
like only a woman would be able to like think that up.
Those levels of manipulation.
Yeah, it's true. That's what we like. Even on my show, we joke, right? That like men are acts of passion, you could say, when it's true crime, right? Whether it be serial killers or very famous crime cases, men usually snap. They're calculated for a bit, but there's a time where they snap. They use their brute strength to their advantage. Some intellect, obviously, like people like Ted Bundy and stuff like that, but they always go in this berserker mode. But
Mhm.
women mostly do things like poison you, right? They'll like you because they know they'll do it connivingly, right? You have like Mary, what was her name? It's Mary Bell, the chick that like she killed all her husbands and then buried them in her pig fart, like her pig pen. She was calculated about it, like, and especially at the time period. So like women are usually more conniving and calculated when it's like, oh, like how can I get away with this, but do it so no one will catch me, you know?
Do you know what the original title for this movie was? I never knew this. I'm just reading it here now.
That bit.
Living the Lie. That's an
I don't
awful
like
name,
that.
I think.
I
Yeah.
don't like that. Cry Wolf is way
Um,
better.
America Online helped to publicize the film by launching an alternate reality game for AIM users by sending instant messages to each other, which ran for the duration of the film's promotion. The game itself is similar to Mafia, replacing townspeople and Mafia with sheep and
That's
wolves.
cool. That's cool.
Interesting. During rehearsals for the Lying Game, the cast had to stay in character at all times. If they ever said their own names by mistake, they would be kicked out of the rehearsal.
Interesting. That's cool.
It's kind of a bit wild.
I like that. That's sick.
If you count this film as a slasher and you don't count the uncut version of the film, then this is the first slasher in the history of horror films to be rated PG-13.
What? That's weird. Interesting. Cool. I enjoyed it. Like, do you want to hear my rating?
And then what was the last thing I had here?
Got a fun fact.
For the fact that it's ostensibly a slasher movie, and despite the plot's attempts to mislead us, only 2 people actually die in Crywolf.
It's
Even
pretty
then,
good though. Despite that, like it is good.
oh
I
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I thought I honestly, and if like obviously if you've listened to this, it's completely just ruined it or whatever. But like if you ever get to go into a film like this blind, it's such a great experience.
Yeah, I know, obviously. And we had fun with this one. Obviously, I was in a really good mood and wanted to enjoy this and had a couple beers. For the people who are like, it's man. Now my views and my jokes do not reflect Aaron as a person. Don't worry.
Well,
But if you come over to Strange Brew Podcast, just make sure to be careful and have an open mind. But like, I'm all about like joking around. Like everything is a fucking joke to me, right? I'm a very sarcastic person, and like some of the stuff, like I can't help but want to like air my true thoughts. I grew up in a different time, man. Than we have younger listeners that like everything's bubble wrapped. It wasn't like that at all in the '90s. Definitely not the fucking '80s, but in the '90s it was way worse. The internet blew up, way worse. So things were kind of different. But like this movie kind of did it, that's why I was like joking a lot, telling stories because it reminded me of like being young, man. being that like teenage, and like
Yeah.
the friends that will fuck you over. Like we used to do stupid shit like that to each other. Like all my friends put makeup on my buddy Dylan's face while we were all like when we were like, I don't know, 14 or 15 at his house. I didn't do it, but because like I was the easy target kind of shit at the time or whatever. He didn't want to fight my other friends because my other friend, like especially the one kid, was pretty tough. So he like kicked me out, and I had to like hang out in his garage. And like my friends would bring me like a joint or whatever, be like, "Hey, Dylan's still pissed at you," And I didn't even put the makeup on him, but he like freaked out on me, So it just reminds me of that time of like where your friends were like ruthless and like didn't care, and you would do horrible shit to each other, and it was all fun and games, but like at the end of the day, somebody gets hurt.
I'm just reading more on that whole like how this got made, and I didn't know some of this stuff. So in 2002, Chrysler sponsored an online contest called the Chrysler $1 Million Film Festival, wherein
Why is a car
applicants.
company fucking?
I know, yeah, it's a bit weird. It's probably some tax write-off
I'm
or
a
something.
Ford guy, and if you look up Henry Ford, you'll know why.
Wherein applicants could compete for the chance to win a $1 million production deal with Universal Pictures. The contest began at the 2002 Sundance Film Festival and continued throughout the year at various other film festivals until the 2002 Cannes Film Festival, wherein 10 semi-finalists created short films that had to prominently feature Chrysler automobiles. Weird. 5 finalists were then allowed to spend the summer working with film industry veterans in crafting a pitch to showcase at the 2002 Toronto Film Festival. In September of that year, a panel consisting of Doug Lehman, Freeman Thomas, and executives from Universal and Rogue Pictures determined the then recent USC School of Cinematic Arts graduate Jeff Wadlow winner of the contest on the basis of a submitted short film Tower of Babel, which he had created with his classmate, and his pitch, then titled Living the Lie, which he described as a modern day retelling of The Boy Who Cried Wolf.
Interesting. Like that's pretty interesting. You know what I mean? They're able to. I wish I could do something like that. It's cool. Like a short film, like as you do the technology we have today.
Do you know what? As well, it seems to be from the amount of people that I've interviewed and stuff. All of them seem to say that the best way to get like a chance is to make shorts.
Interesting.
Write your little idea, your little story, or even if it's a big story you have fleshed out, but figure out how you can put that into like maybe a 2, 3, 4 minute short to kind of convey your idea, like as a proof of concept.
Interesting, because I feel like I could do that.
That they seem to reckon that that's the best way. You have way more of a chance of like, sending something like that to an executive and them seeing it and going, "Oh, this is cool," than sending them, a fucking 100-page, like fleshed out story.
I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but like, I don't know. I feel like I would love to do specifically like there's so many ideas I had, but specifically if I could kind of tune into both of our kind of skill set, as I said earlier, Liam Neeson. Supposedly he has a big wiener.
Oh yeah, there's I can't remember the movie where he's like running through I think it's like a garden and there's like sprinklers going off.
Yeah.
And his dong is like
slapping knee. It's the only reason I
pretty
know
much.
that is because Kevin Smith's podcast, Hollywood Babylon. I'll shout them out. It's fun to listen to. So I'll pop it on to watch it or listen to it because it's a little more positive than some of the other stuff I listen to about the shit that's going on in the world. And they're like their end thing. They'll get all because it's a live podcast. They'll get everyone to like Liam Neeson's cock is so big. How big is it? And they'll like do that type of stupid shit.
It seems like one of those ones though, that's like getting to the situation of being that big. It's like a struggle to like keep it hard.
Yes. That's just that would be disappointing I've heard stories.
Because that's pointless then. It's like, what's the point? It's like a flump.
Yeah, there's no point if he's not going to do anything. And the thing is like if I was going to like to address our special skill set, I would do like a dark comedy. I would like write something out that was kind of like that had humorous aspects in it, but also make it really messed up and like make you think, because I do have the ability. I do as I want to toot my own horn, toot toot. But I do have. I feel like I could write something like that. Like I can write lyrics pretty like quickly off the top of my head, create music and stuff for the show and things that I've done for my own show and create skits I used to do with like Juan and stuff like that. Like, kind of put that to the wind. Maybe start doing that again. Start making skits for the show. Have a little fun with it. We did one once, didn't we? I can't remember.
Yeah, I feel like
It's been a long
we
time.
did. I can't remember exactly.
Can't
How
remember what
many?
episode it was.
How many?
I had fun with this.
What are we gonna rate it out of?
Hunter's knives, butcher. Yeah, it's like a hunter, like a deer skinning knife,
Yeah. So how many?
or a
hunting
bellic,
knives-
like a ski mask.
How many ski masks out of 5 would you give Crywolf?
I hate 5 because but I'll
Okay,
I'll
10.
I'll stick to 5.
Let's go for
it's fine.
10.
Okay.
You can give decimal points as well.
So I'll do like 8, but there's like a ski mask that's almost assembled, but you can still see your face through it. Like it's not like it's hiding your identity that much. So like almost like a 7, a 7.5. Like
Yeah, I think that's pretty.
Realistically, it's well done. The acting is well done. The cinematography is great. The story is well put together. There is an element of mystery and surprise. It keeps you. It keeps you suspenseful. Keeps you at the edge of your seat. So, I have to pee so bad.
As do I. Yeah, I would agree with all that. I think it's unfortunate it kind of flew under the radar, and I didn't realize
Yeah,
as
that
well
is
that
unfortunate. It's sad.
critics absolutely hated this movie, as far as I'm aware. The
Weird.
critic
That's so
critic
weird.
reception was like garbage. They were like, yeah, this is terrible. But I think
Weird.
like it's a unique experiment in kind of like
Yeah.
I don't know, psychological slasher horror or whatever.
Yeah.
It does have a cult following, but not to like the
Huh.
extent of something like I Know What You Did Last Summer or whatever.
Mhm.
But I do think I had written down clever take on deception and fear, use of early social media and viral storytelling. I think was ahead of its time. Really strong performances from the 2 leads and likes of Bon Jovi and other characters as well. And I think for people who like that kind of mystery thriller with a kind of a horror twist, it's definitely worth
Yeah.
revisiting, even if you have seen it.
100%.
Definitely deserves a little bit more appreciation, I think. Plays with your expectations. It made it one of the more interesting slashers, I think, of that early 2000s era. If you enjoy movies with twists that make you question everything, then it's definitely worth checking out.
I agree.
But we do appreciate everyone getting this far. Make sure to check out ClassHorrorCast.com.
We have some new merch designs coming. I'm so excited. We have so much stuff
We
coming.
surely do. I can't wait to get them. Yeah, follow us on Instagram at Class Horrorcast. That's probably where you'll find most
So
up-to-date
excited.
stuff.
So much stuff we can do.
And definitely let us know what you guys think.
think.
Let us know what you guys think. Did Crywolf trick you with its twists, or did you see it coming? Let us know either in the comments or through social media. Give us suggestions. Maybe there's other, early 2000s horror movies or 90s or 80s, whatever that you might like to see us dive back
We're
into
very
and
open.
cover.
I want to know what you guys think. You know what I mean? Like, don't take anything really seriously because this is supposed to be just a fun podcast. I feel like I have to like kind of like put some bubble wrap around the fans of this. Sometimes be like, hey, like we're just fucking kidding around. Horror is meant for everybody. I don't care who you are, where you're from, what you look like, what you subscribe to as a person. This is supposed to be a fun talk about horror movies, and every horror movie has weird elements of things and characters and people, and that's what the world is. That's what's out there. There's a bunch of different strange people out there. Doesn't mean they're bad people. So let's bring everybody together under the blanket of horror. Everybody love everybody. We all love horror movies. That's why we're here. So,
You haven't said that for a long time. Everybody love everybody.
it's because nobody really does. If you go out in the real world, everybody hates each other.
And also stay horny for horror. And I
Yes,
guess,
I'm very excited.
reach out to us on social media or, in the comments wherever you're listening to this or watching it, and
Yes.
let us know what you thought and maybe some suggestions for future episodes. And we'll see everybody real soon. Peace.